It's morphing time! It's just a sauce dish. It's the best I could do. So Power Rangers is the latest film remake of a nostalgic, beloved series from the past. For me personally, Power Rangers came out, I believe, when I was in college, either my freshman or sophomore year, somewhere around there. And yes, I did watch it every day. In fact, I even recorded it if I was at class because I wanted to watch it when I got home. Yes, I might have been a little old for the demographic that it was made for, but you know what? I don't give a shit because I grew up in Hawaii. I grew up watching these Japanese martial arts based TV shows like Kamen Rider and Battle Fever, and I fucking loved them. So when Power Rangers came out, I had to watch it and I fell in love with it. So I was looking forward to this remake of that series, which I did enjoy in the past. But to be honest, when I saw the first couple of trailers, I was a little wary of just how good this film could be, because it seemed like it was very teen angsty and just not too much action, and I wasn't quite sure if I was ready for that kind of take on the Power Rangers series. But you know what? I actually enjoyed the film quite a bit. Well, let's start with the five main characters. You got Billy, you got Zach, you got Jason, you got Trini, and you got Kimberly. The same names of the original five Rangers, and actually all five of the actors are really good in their roles. I loved how diverse the cast was. I loved that they each had their own identity. You could easily identify who was who. As with any other kid that age, I had a crush on the original Pink Ranger, and surprisingly, if not intentionally, the new Pink Ranger Kimberly really resembles the original Pink Ranger Kimberly quite a bit, so that was kind of cool to see that. But I really loved that these characters had great chemistry together. I kind of liked how you had this whole Breakfast Club thing going on with them, where they were all kind of outcasts in their own way. Yeah, some of them were the cool kids. You got a football player, you got a cheerleader, but even them, they have their social problems as well, so they were able to relate to the other kids. So I really enjoyed seeing this John Hughes approach to these five teenagers and having them bond over the course of 90 minutes. And yes, you don't really get to see any of the Power Rangers action until the last half an hour of the film. And yeah, it's a 2-hour film, it's a little long, but the first 90 minutes of just the teenagers and them getting to know each other and training to become Power Rangers, I thought it was really interesting, and I was totally fine with not seeing the Power Rangers until the very end of the film. And that was one of my concerns too, where in the trailers it seemed like there would only be one battle with the Rangers in their power suits and with the Zords. And I thought, well, that's kind of shitty because it's a big budget film that I want to see a lot of action. And then I thought about it, and then yes, the original series was built the same way, where you would have all these dramatic storylines, and only at the very end will the Power Rangers fight the putties and drive their Zords and fight the big monster. So in that sense, it's kind of staying loyal to the original show, which I thought, again, they could have put a little bit more action into it, but their choice to concentrate on the characters, I can't really blame the producers for that, because I thought they did a great job in executing that choice, so kudos to you on that. As for the big names in the cast, you got Bryan Cranston playing the big floating head Zordon, and it was really cool to find out that Bryan Cranston actually voiced some of the monsters on the original Power Rangers show, which I had no idea, so that's pretty cool. You got Bill Hader doing the Alpha 5 voice, and honestly, Alpha 5 was a little annoying in the original show. It's ay 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 ay, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, like, come on, he was kind of like the Jar Jar Binks of that generation. But Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live, he was able to provide his wit and his humor to the character. And Elizabeth Banks, you can just tell she's having a lot of fun with her role of Rita Repulsa. And by the way, with all this talk about Emma Stone and Doctor Strange and Ghost in the Shell, why doesn't anyone talk about the whitewashing in Power Rangers? Rita Repulsa is supposed to look like this, not that. But I guess Asians are saying, Rita Repulsa, you can have that one. Man, we don't care about her. I don't know. But she was actually pretty fun in the role, so I enjoyed her performance as well. So like I was saying, the first 90 minutes of the film were very entertaining. I like to watch these kids getting to know each other and bonding and training. But when they finally turn into the Rangers, that's where the film starts to get a little bit flawed. First of all, the fighting choreography, it's decent. It's a film geared toward kids, obviously, so the fighting is not gonna be very complex. It's not gonna be intricate. It's just gonna be straight up kicking and punching and little jokes thrown in here and there, which is what the original Power Rangers was, so that's fine. But when they started driving the Zords, that's where everything just became very Transformers-like for me. The Zords did not have any distinguishing characteristics. They never mentioned the dinosaur connection to the Zord. You couldn't tell who was in the Triceratops, who was in the Pterodactyl, who was in the Tyrannosaurus, who was in the Mastodon and so on. In the original show, they always yelled out, Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Saber-tooth tiger! You know, so you knew which Ranger was driving which Zord. But in this one, you had no idea. The Zords themselves all blended together, so they had no distinguishing identities. You couldn't really tell them apart. So that was my major issue with the Zord action. It's something that can be fixed in future films, not a major flaw. Overall, I must say I really enjoyed the Power Rangers movie. I like the characters, I like the actors, I like the performances. The story of how they bonded and the whole origins behind how they became Power Rangers was very interesting, even though we've all seen it before. But the execution was really good. The action scenes could use a little more work, but that's a minor flaw that can be improved in future movies if they decide to make them. So Power Rangers gets 8 out of 10 from me. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to talk about the film with me, please leave a comment below and we'll talk story. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, just click on right there and subscribe to my YouTube channel, MC on Film. Thank you.